Loose, what up guys? So today I'm going to do a little bit more on the grip control and the wrist strength, basically strength training for your grip. So I'm just going to expand on the video that I've already done. Okay, here we go. Okay, so what you want to do is sit with your toes tucked. You're kind of killing two birds with one stone here. We're working on a little bit of passive stretching for your toes, which is always good. It's built power when you're doing takedowns and stuff like that. Then you're going to take your hands, and what you're going to do is you're going to reverse them towards your knees. And what we're going to do is we're going to sit here for 2 minutes. So Alexa, set timer for 2 minutes.
2 minutes, starting now.
What we're trying to do here is we're trying to sit back and straighten the elbows as much as possible, irradiate a little bit of that midsection, and kind of lean back as far as you comfortably can. And what I try to do is I try to separate my fingers. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to stretch all the flexor muscles in your hand, which are obviously part of your forearm. This is something that gets really overworked in jiu-jitsu because of all the grips that we do. So the majority of you are probably going to start out in this position up here. You may not even be able to kind of lean back as far. You go as far as you comfortably can. The idea is to sit in the stretch as comfortably as you can. Alexa, cancel. Okay, now we're going to do PAILs and RAILs. So from this position, all you're going to start doing is you're going to start pushing your fingers into the ground. And you're going to rev up 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%. 50%, then you're going to hold that tension for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you're going to try to lift your fingers up towards the top of your forearm, which is really hard. 3, 2, 1, and then relax everything and try to sit back more into the stretch. A couple more breaths. And now repeat 10%. 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, maximal effort now, 60%, 70%, 80%. Everything you got, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now the rails, lift those fingers up off the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake them off for a second, get a little of that blood flowing. Woo, that was hard. Now we're gonna do the same thing, but the opposite direction now. So now we're basically flexing our hands and we're stretching the extensors. Basically this thing, the top part of your forearm. So again, separate your fingers, try to straighten your arms, try to pull your weight backwards as far as you comfortably can. So you're technically like wrist locking yourself. And then set yourself a timer. Alexa, timer for 2 minutes. This one's hard. This one does not feel good at all. So be aware that this one is, you're not gonna go nearly as far as the other one. The other one's uncomfortable, but this one is like discomfort. It's technically you're wrist locking yourself. So you gotta kind of work up the, I guess you can say the pain tolerance, basically the stretch actual aspect of it. But there's a lot of pain associated with it. So this type of stretch, we're basically giving ourselves a little bit of extra space if someone were to give us like a wrist lock. Gives us an extra fraction of a second. Does not feel good. Keep separating your digits as best you can. Keep trying to relax your forearm back by keeping tension on your elbow as well. And breathe. Alexa, cancel. Now we're going to do the PAILs and RAILs, but just reverse now. So now we're trying to push our fingers, the top of our fingers into the ground. 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%. Hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now make a fist. Try to bring as much as you can forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Deepen the stretch even more. And then repeat. Pushing those fingers away, separating those digits, pushing the ground away. 30%, 40%, 50%, maximum effort. 60, 70, 80, 5, 2, 1, and now curl. As much as you can. 2, 1. Give yourself a breath. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do cars. We're basically going to save the PAILs and RAILs work that we just finished doing by talking to your nervous system, because we found more space in your wrist. We're going to do circles basically with your wrist so that your nervous system understands that it can move in that particular direction. So grabbing your own wrist, you're going to extend down, you're going to adduct in, flex up, abduct out. Again, 2 in each direction. Switch the other hand. Other direction. As you can see on this side, I struggle. Might be because I like lasso on this side. So this hand is extremely, it's much stronger than my right hand when it comes to grip, so I have much more limitation in my wrist on this hand than I do the other. Okay, so now we're gonna add in some dynamic actual work so that your wrist actually builds a little bit of additional strength, all the supporting muscles. What we did with the PAILs and the RAILs for the wrist, we did very isolated extensor and flexor muscles. And so now what we're doing is we're gonna do it in a more dynamic movement. So we're gonna get in tabletop. Very simple. Tabletop, you're gonna separate your fingers as best you can. You're gonna pretend you have talons, and you're gonna grip the ground with your fingers. From there, you're gonna externally rotate from the shoulder forward so that the crook of your elbow is facing forward. You're gonna get your knees underneath your hips. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna come 1 inch off the ground and we're gonna hold it for 20 seconds. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Next we're gonna do is we're gonna do sit-throughs. Everybody knows sit-throughs. This position. One more. And right back into the tabletop. Talons, tuck the toes, knees right under hips, and up for 20. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And one more time, sit-throughs, and then we're done. Talons, tuck under. Whoosh, guys. So that's just basically a workout for your wrist, i.e. your forearm, both the front and the back side of your forearm, your flexors and extensors. This will bring alleviation to a lot of the finger pain that you feel, even the one where you're curling backwards. I know that when you overwork your fingers, you almost can't even close your hand. This will keep you from getting that inflammation. It'll slow it down quite a bit because it'll bring more balance to your fingers because of the flexors and extensors working a little bit more in equilibrium. Because when you're doing a lot of gi, it's all flexing, all flexors, which is what we're trying to avoid. Because anything that is overpowering on one side is going to cause pain. So we want to try to avoid that. Whew. That last little sit-throughs got me a little out of breath in combination with everything else because my arms are already tired. Those guys, thanks a lot.